Can I start? For some introduction is there.
Now you can start.
Okay. Very good morning, very good afternoon, good evening to all the audience. I'm thankful to the Institute of Global Professionals who have given me this opportunity to address you all. And today's topic, how to choose a career, is very, very important because career is something which defines us, and it is something which is more than our living. If I just talk about the goal and the career, goal keeps changing at different stages of our life. The goal changes. Sometimes it is we want to qualify, we want to do our matric, we want to do our plus two, we want to do our senior secondary, we want to qualify our college, we want to do our graduation, we want to do post graduation. The goals in our life keep changing. But a career is very important because it is the occupation undertaken for a significant period of a person's life and with the opportunities to progress. Because every human being, right from the birth, I hope everybody is going to agree to this one point, right when the child is very small, just a toddler, starts going to the school. And whenever the child may be in a kindergarten, he comes back or she comes back, the parents are always questioning, what do you want to be in your life? So that one aspect of one's life to choose a career is very, very important. So career means an occupation which one is going to undertake for a significant period of time. Of course, yes, the career can be varied, but it is because with the opportunities to progress, it is something more than a living one is going to make. But it is again very important that when we choose a career, it is one's very important decision, that what decision are we making in our life. It's about much more than deciding that what we will do to make a living. To start with, think about the amount of time we are going to spend at work. We are on the jobs approximately 71% of every year. We are always working. But in that context, that when we choose a career, which is very, very important for us, we must understand that why there is a need to make a choice of a career which is very, very important before we take it up. So there are certain factors which decide, which we must always take into consideration, that what what career should we opt. It is very important, as you know, that as just I have mentioned, that when a child starts going to a school, since then the parents are very curious to ask a child that what does you really want to be in your life. And at every stage, every grade he is promoted to, whatever he is allured with, if he sometimes he wants to become a doctor, sometimes he wants to become an advocate, sometimes he wants to become a police officer, and this keeps on changing till he becomes aware that no, life is something more. And when he starts understanding the market, when he starts understanding, he becomes aware that what is the requirement in the market, what and how he can progress in his life. When he starts thinking about it, uh, he starts seriously thinking about his career, which is very, very important for anyone, any person in his life. So there are few points which I would be discussing with you, that why it is important. Some jobs are headed towards extinction, as we all know that with the advent of technology, what has happened? There are jobs uh, which are no more in today's market. Those that automation now dominates the uh, realities in multiple forms: self checkouts, customer service, bots, and even bots that hire and fire. I mean, there is no need of any human resource to do that. Even the bots are doing it. While these advancements are purposed with improving and simplifying our lives, they also impose a threat on the human counterparts who were tasked with these jobs first. So, first of all, where human beings were appointed for doing such kind of jobs, now they have been replaced by technology. So, with the artificial intelligence beginning to replace workers across several industries and sectors, choosing a career that won't caught in this crossfire of technological revolution, it becomes very important for us that what career should we choose that does not have an impact on our professions or our careers, and we are able, so that we able to choose a, a career in an industry which should be always there, it should be always in a season. It and it is also estimated that large percentage of workers, they have switched from one industry to the other industry, and many of them had to leave. They became jobless. Why? Because in this world where the time is very rapidly changing, there requires a certain kind of skill which is very, very important uh, for any person to continue with his career. And the institutes, they have also found that 25% more workers than previously estimated will need to switch occupations. So, where the time and situation, because of the pandemic, because of the COVID 19, which had just come, we all have suffered. We have seen how the world has changed. There had been a paradigm shift in the mode of delivery in education sector also. So I would say that because of that COVID also, there has been the process to stay afloat, accelerating their investment in artificial intelligence, automation, and for millions of workers, these changes bring the extinction of their roles sooner than accepted. So, if you really want to be in your job, it is always suggested that one need to be far-sighted and one need to be proactive. If you are a proactive in your professional journey, what will happen? That till the time comes, you will be able to acquire certain skills which are required. Even if you have to change your occupation, what will happen? You will still be in some or the other job, and at least you will be able to survive. So, in that case, you all will agree that the careers in healthcare, technology, medicine, education, business, they have we have seen that they have an exponential growth, whereas in the industry of agriculture, food service, and other manufacturing, we have seen that there is a susceptibility because of the coming up of the technology. So uh, I would say that whenever we make a choice of a career, we need to think. that the job automation will bring extinction in in their career path today or tomorrow, or in 5-10 years. So if we are aware of it, I think uh, there would be people who would make a right choice for it. Now the tuition, second point is the why it is important to choose a career is because the tuition costs are rising. We have seen, I would be talking about India, that we have seen that the education sector, where the purpose was to provide academics to academic knowledge to the children and to give them certificate, and the purpose of a child was not only to get a certificate, but their goal was to get a government job. But after pandemic, it has been seen that the children, they have become aware of it, and even after plus 2 they are acquiring certain skill, and they are ready to, or they are flying to some other countries where they are doing all sort of jobs and also learning certain kind of skills and knowledge, so that they get a job which is of their choice. So the tuition fees has also, and we have seen that in the colleges the number of the students have decreased. Why they have decreased? Because of the tuition fees has it is rising. So because the tuition fees is rising, the number has come down. But even because the tuition fees has risen, it is inevitably because of the automation also. And another important consideration is that when choosing a career, it is steady rise of tuition fee which are making higher education less accessible because people cannot pay. But at the same time, we have also seen, or you will all agree that when the students they really want to have a higher status in their life, they have to go to colleges. It is a demand that they have to have certain certification with them. And if they have certain kind of certificate which is required for a certain job, for example, if somebody wants to become a doctor, he or she will have to go to medical college, and that certification of a medical college is required. Along with that, the child will have to qualify a licensing uh, uh, examination for any of the country wherever he wants to work. So if he has a certificate that he is qualified doctor, if he has a license, only then. So irrespective of the increase or rise in the tuition fee, the students who are aware and they are goal oriented, they would definitely go to the colleges, and they do go, and they it becomes mandatory for them. And for certain courses, the university degree is also very very important. So this is like we all need to understand that the certification, the college certificate or university certificate, they become more of a tool to get a better opportunity to get a skill job in the market. So, and the third point, which is why it is very important for anyone to get to choose a career, is that it paves the way to economic security. So if what is the purpose ultimately, we may be doing a job which is a skilled job, it may be a office job or any other kind of job. What is the purpose of it is again to be economically sound, to earn money. So if you make a choice of a proper career, just focusing, being proactive, and focusing on the point that this is going to grow, this is not going to get extinct. Along with that, the certification important, and then the economic security is again very very important factor. So how much economy is required for your survival? How much economy, how much comfort do you require in your life? If you focus on that, I think the career, if you choose, would be accordingly. So the earning potential is major consideration of most when deciding on a suitable career. If choosing the right profession means that you will be able to have economic security, which plays a key role in one's well-being, in one's life. Economic security is linked to the personal well-being of a person and overall satisfaction. If you are finance is something, or your economy is something which makes you satisfied, which gives you a sense of security, and you are able to live your life in a proper way, and because you don't have any kind of burden, you are not thinking of making your living meet, what will happen is you will be physically, you will also be fit, and you will not be under any kind of mental tension. So both in your career as well as personal life, that security comes because of your economic security. Therefore, whenever you are choosing a career, it becomes important that you have a financial stability also, and that could be direct with that is directly linked with your happiness as well as your prosperity. So it is very important that whenever we are choosing a career, we need to be proactive, we need to have a foundation, we need to have skill development, we need to be a person with values, we need to think in a long term, that what should be our choice of career. It should be not easily extinct. I would also suggest here that while we are making a career, choosing a career, we need to, as a person, we should be a multitasker, we should be technology saved, we must be full of knowledge. But apart having knowledge and the skills, I would also say that 21st century values are very very important. When I say 21st century values, this means that you should be have integrity, you should be open minded, you must have growth mindset, you must be able to have a positive set of mind, you must be able to appreciate, aesthetic sense should be there within you, you must have humility, you must be compassionate towards other human beings. If you are having all these values and you have skills and knowledge, there is no way that any machine or any technology can take they can take your work, because if you are already a multitasker, that means you know that how you have to do your work in the best possible way. Another is that whenever you make a choice of your career, you need to be very very strategic. Being strategic while choosing a career is again very important. Why? Because that change is law of nature, and where change is happening, other things are also evolving. When other things are evolving, we need to make a right career choice. Maybe it is very very challenging, but yes, if we make a right choice at right time, uh, we will be a success. So automation, rise in tuition fee costs, need of financial security should be substantially consideration during the decision making process. However, you must also other factors to inform your career choices. A future proof career may be a great option in theory, but we must also leverage your natural talents, your skills, interests in order to find a career that is truly fitting for you, which is fitting for you. So uh, just what market is saying, what people is saying, what is in the fashion, instead of going behind all these things, one's potential, one's interest, one's internal choice, one's skill, that also need to be focused, and one needs to take a pragmatic decision while you are considering yourself, your personal ambition and your goals which you are expecting. And it should be very very expedient and exciting for you, so that Whenever you are doing a job, if you are doing out of compulsion, what happens? You leave it yourself after an year or two. But if any job, whichever you take up, which which is whenever you take up a job which is you enjoy it, when you enjoy your work, you will do it better, and it will be good for the community too. You will be doing a great service, and it will also satisfy you. You will feel happy. And I think any career which is giving you happiness, that adds to your personality, that gives you an economic satisfaction. I would request ma'am to please scroll the screen. Yeah, ma'am, please change the screen. Third screen, please. Third slide. Ma'am, can you change the screen? All right. So I was talking about the carriers. As I was telling that in one point of time, one carrier was important, and other point of time, other carrier was important. Just giving you an example that if we talk about 10 years back, in 2013, we have seen the job. As I said that a decade before or 2 decades before, people were joining or they were getting going to schools, going to colleges, going to universities. Their motive was to get a government job. So what was even in the world we have seen in 2013, accountants, market research analysis, computer system analysis, HRs, training labor, these kind of jobs were more in the market. It was a demand. But with the coming up of technology, it was something else in 2014. In 2014, statisticians, audiologists, dental hygienists, software engineers, they were in demand. In 2015, software engineer, computer system analyst, doctors, they were in demand. Similarly, in 16 and 17, again, all these were in demand. Same professions were in demand. But all of a sudden, of course, technology was being improved day by day. But in 2019, after 2019, with the advent of COVID-19, the scenario changed. If somebody is at the backstage, please change the slide, because I want the audience to see the slide also. So in after that, the technology, the role of technology has become very vital. And since the COVID, we all know that most of the offices were just replaced. Distance education was there. People who were able to use technology, they were able to make a huge uh, they were able to make huge profits. So if I just talk about the ranking of countries, as I said that some carriers are being extinct, but the other, there is always an exponential growth. So if I just talk about the ranking of countries by GDP per capita in 2023, we will see that uh, because I wanted everybody to see the slide, but I don't think somebody is being able to show it. So, but I'm just deciding it. I'm just telling you that the GDP of Luxembourg, Ireland, Norway were the highest. It was 132.37 thousand dollars and more. Whereas there are countries, I will not say much because it is, if somebody could share the screen only then. If I talk about Denmark, Netherlands, Australia, Sweden, their GDP was 68.83 thousand dollars. Netherlands was 61.1 thousand dollars. Similarly, I have on my screen Kuwait, it was $33.65 thousand, and the ranking of GDP per capita income shows that there are various career options there, and one needs to keep changing. So while we are choosing a career, it becomes very, very important that what kind of career should we choose, because at one point of time there are one career is okay, the other is extincted. So how do we choose a career? What are the points which we need to focus at when we are making a choice of our career? So when we are making a career choice, we should always think that there should be a career which, I have made 4 quadrants over here. There are careers with low stress, high pay. There are careers which are giving you high stress, high pay. There are careers with low stress, low pay. But there are careers with high stress and low pay. If I talk about first quadrant, giving less stress and high pay are careers like pharmacist, data scientists, mathematicians, and careers like high stress, high pay are surgeons, public relation executives, military journals. They are having, if they have stress, they are also being paid high. There are careers like tailor, bank teller, bicycle repairer. They have low stress, but they also have low pay. Similarly, high stress and low pay, like taxi driver, they have to keep traveling long distance, keep driving, but they are paying less, being paid less. Wind turbine technicians, they have high stress, but they are being paid low. Reporters, they are also being paid very less, but they have lot of stress because they have to compile all the news on daily basis. Now there are certain 100 common carriers which I will just name it out, and I'll just name it out that what rank wise few of them I will, but there are 100 of common carrier stack ups which have career, they have workplace factors, stress factors, and growth outlook. If I talk about number one, genetic counselors, workplace factors are very good, stress factors are very low, because these are the things that you also have to see what kind of workplace it would be, how much stress one is going to have, what is the growth outlook if one is going to take care of. So genetic counselors, they have very good workplace factors are very good, stress factors are very low, and growth outlook is very good. For mathematicians, workplace is also very good, they have very less stress factors, and our growth outlook is also very good. University professors, workplace factor is very good, stress factor is very low, growth outlook is good. For statisticians, very good workplace factors, stress factors very low, growth outlook is very good. For data scientists, very workplace factors is very good, stress factor is very low, and growth outlook is also very good. So actuary, very good workplace factors, very low stress, and growth outlook is very good. Software developers, they have good workplace factors, stress factor is very low, and growth outlook is very good. For physical therapists, workplace factor is fair, stress factor is low, but growth outlook is very good. Web developers, very good workplace factors, low stress, and good growth outlook. For a librarian, they have a very workplace factor is very good, very low stress factor, and growth outlook is very fair. For petroleum engineers, good workplace factor, medium stress factor, good growth outlook. So, similarly, for different professions, different careers, the workplace factor, stress factor, growth factor, they are different for different professions. So, what I actually want to mention over here is that whenever we make a choice, we need to see the workplace, we need to see the stress, what is the amount of stress we are going to have. Growth outlook is also very important. We cannot always live with the same kind of economic what economy we are getting. So choosing the optimal career, it becomes very, very important that if the goal is to maximize income, then traditional high paying careers like being a lawyer, doctor, investment banker, senior corporate executive are a good way to go. For many people, however, a good career is defined as being more than just having high earning potential idly. It also low stress while providing a healthy workplace that makes workers look forward to their jobs every day. So this is very important that when we make a choice that what kind of uh, career are we going to choose, it becomes very important. So while we are, it is also important that we are choosing a career, what should be the steps? So number one is be aware available new career options. Whenever we are about to choose a career, it should be in our mind. As I said, that we need to be proactive. We need to be aware what is going on in the market, what is the in thing, and which profession is going to be exponentially growing, and it is not going to be extinct very soon. So we have to be aware of the available career options for us. We need to check our interest, that whether we are interested in it or not. We need to select few career options and note them. It should not be, as I said, that somebody who is a good writer, if somebody is a good writer, can take up a choice of being an reporter. He can be a blog writer, he can be a book writer, he can, if he is also good at speaking, he can also become a reporter. So it again depends that if you are very good in a language, that how you can choose your career. So you must always, whenever you are choosing a career, you must always take note of it, and you must always think that where are the opportunities available at the global level. Calculate competition. This uh, it is a skill, I would say, that to have a calculated risk is again a skill which everybody should have if you really want to have a successful career in your life. So that calculated competition, if you are able to calculate it, you will be survive for a longer period. Make a complete focused destination. You must know, along with choosing a career, and if you are calculating it, you must always be able to completely focus on your destination. That today, if you are starting, for example, somebody starts as a teacher in a school. So after teaching there for 4 or 5 years of experience, she should always fix her goal to become a supervisor or a coordinator. And then after becoming a coordinator, she should think of becoming a vice principal, and then or a academic head in an organization, and then further. So that if you are complete, if you are focusing stepwise that where you are going to head and what would be your destination, if you are focused, then accordingly you will be able to develop certain skills. You will be able to update your knowledge, and you will always be uh, uh, in demand, and there is no way that your job will be an extinct kind of thing. Calculate your capabilities. Sometimes we dream high, but We do not have that kind of aptitude, we don't have that kind of physique, or we don't have physical strength. So all the capabilities, whether they be personal, professional, knowledge, skill, your physical kind of thing, your strength, all these things need to be checked out. And very important is, even if you have all these things, you have skills, you have knowledge, you have the stamina, you are aware of the market, you have the awareness that what and where it will lead you, you have finally your goal, but the interest is very very important. A job where or a career where there is a satisfaction, you will always be doing good. Exclude some options according to your capabilities and competitions. Sometimes uh, it is not good for anyone to be under stress. So if you have the potential, you have the capabilities, uh, I would suggest that you should always be thinking that what next and what suits to your personality, only that should be taken into your consideration. Ma'am, please scroll the slide number 9. So as I just mentioned, that how you need to choose at the same time, whether I'm just telling about the female infographic. When I'm telling about something female infographic, which means that what should be the first stage? First, maybe male, maybe female. There is a stage where, say, your school, your college, your university level, at that time, especially during your school and college level, that is a period where you are young. And I would say till the age of 2022, you must have maximum of learning as per your interests, your capabilities, and you must have experience. The more learning experience you will have, you will enjoy your work, because you get reluctant or you don't like your job when you do. I believe, I may be wrong too, but I believe that if you are not interested in something, definitely you don't want to be there. But if you know it, you have full knowledge about the career you are opting it, and you are continuously updating also, you enjoy it, that becomes your passion. And that learning create interest and passion in one, and because you are enjoying it, you will create an environment wherever you are working in your workplace, that definitely you will do good and you will be less stressed. And once you are less stressed, you will prove yourself, and which is going to be helpful to the community itself. Along with your passion, you need to force to educate you, because passion is something which is going to force you to educate. Once you start learning, I also believe that when you are choosing your career, or when you are focusing that you want to become this in your career, or you're going to opt this certain profession in your career, it becomes very important to educate yourself. And that passion is only a force which is going to drive you to get maximum knowledge about it. So once you have that education about it, that education, that knowledge should be related to the real world. If you are not able to relate that knowledge to the real world, if you are not applying that knowledge to the real world, that means still you need to know more about it. You need to apply that knowledge. And once you start applying, you will finally see that you have a success, and you are on a place where you really wanted to be. But I would always suggest all the students, all my colleagues, and all people in the same profession, I would always suggest that you only success in your life is only when you are a lifelong learner. The moment you, it is not about education, it is not about one any one profession, It is because the life is changing fast, and because of the advent of technology, it is for everyone that unless and until you do not keep learning, unless and until you don't update yourself, it will become very very difficult for someone to survive. But yes, your learning, your passion, your education, and your skills, how you are implementing it, so whatever you have assimilated, when you apply in the world, your all knowledge from school, college, university, when you apply that knowledge, you analyze it and you evaluate yourself, and after evaluating, you enhance your creativity, and with your creativity, whatever you are going to create, that is going to make you different. And with that, you will be in demand, and there will be no scope that your career would be an extinct career. Similarly, it is for the male infographic also, it is the same kind of thing, that learning has to be at the base level. They have to choose a career based upon their capabilities, their passion, their interest, because something again done with uh, forcibly, that is going to make someone sick. Anything, I believe that, and maybe you all agree to it, that something we do which we don't want to do, but we are forced to do, a person becomes sick. So life is very very important. We may we may not get our uh, career of our choice, but life is very important. So when we consider that our life and our relationships are very important, I think that again becomes a spirit, that becomes a motivation for inspiration for a person, that starts working. And of course, if you do things with interest of yours, it becomes your passion. More you learn, more you become passionate to learn more, and then you apply and you become success. So there are 5 tips which are going to help to the students, that while you choose a career, what is it that you really need to focus. Number one is your passion, your interest. So once you have you know your passion, you know your capabilities, you know your interest, it is also important to jolt down. For a student, I always suggest to them that whatever you want to become in your life, you have to jolt down. Once you have decided that you want to become ABC, whatever career you want to choose, once you choose, well, you have to always keep looking it. Keep looking means you have to work on it. You have to see what are the resources which are going to be helpful to you. You are going to see what is the knowledge acquired, what is the aptitude required to opt that career, and accordingly, uh, and every year, if you are in a school, or even if you are in a college, because college I consider a bit later stage, because whatever you want to decide, it has to be done after 6th standard onwards. So after grade 6, whatever you decide, it has to become an annual, you need to again see all the things that you have to revisit. I would say the your diary, where you have jotted down, you have written what you want to become in your life. You must see, and you must always on a monthly basis check that what skills have you acquired to become that kind, that to opt that career, what knowledge have you acquired till date. Because whenever you decide for a longer period, you have shorter goals to achieve towards the larger career or larger goal in your life. So for that, you have to continuously visit, you have to continuously check, you have to continuously revise that what you have done, your what skills you have opted, what aptitude you have opted, what knowledge you have opted, what are the resources available, or those short time goals are to be acquired, those certification courses are required, and you continuously acquire those goals based upon your passion. And acquiring those small goals, they will lead you to your final goal, what or your career you want to opt. Identifying your interests. Sometimes, as I said, that in schools especially, the child wants to become a teacher because he likes his teacher. He wants to become a doctor because he goes and meets a doctor some or the other time in his life. He likes advocates because of their uniform. He likes a police uncle because of his uniform. So those interests keep varying, but a stage comes where he has to identify that what is his interest actually, and that interest cannot be just because somebody likes someone. It has to be because of the potential he is having. What are the capabilities having? Whether he take stress or not? Because there are carriers I've just mentioned. There are carriers which require a person to take stress, but there are people who cannot take stress. So whenever you are identifying your career, you are choosing your career, it is very important that you see that whether you have interest in them or not, because once you have an interest in something, you have knowledge, you have skill, that becomes your passion, and when it becomes your passion, you keep learning things, and you definitely succeed. Life skills are very, very important. How you communicate, how you collaborate, how you work in a team. Are you a problem solver or not? Do you get angry very soon or not? Different types of life skills are very, very important. So when I say that life skills are important, it is very important for anyone that, are you a problem solver? Are you, can you take a decision? Can you work in a team? Yes or no? These are certain things. Are you having creative thinking? Are you a critical thinker? Do you have empathy? Are you aware of, do you have self awareness, if I say like that? Can you communicate with people? Yes or no? So life skills are very important. Have a routine, as I just mentioned before, that whenever you have focused, when you have decided that this is going to be your career, go to opt this as a career, you have to check your routine. When, because you cannot think that you keep sleeping and you will achieve a career. No, you have to have a routine where your learning, your acquiring knowledge is important, your physical fitness is also very important, your your personality development is very important. So you have to have a routine where you can spare some time out of 24 hours, that you are taking care of your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health. Because to choose a career or to be in a career, your emotional balance is very important. Your spiritual balance is very important. When I say emotional balance, I mean all these factors, they lead to your well-being. So that routine that comes out, too much of work will make you sick. But if you are enjoying your work, you will be happy. But at the same time, you need to be physically also fit. You need to be, as I said, that in those life skills I mentioned, that teamwork. Now, teamwork means you need to be sportive, where you need to be able to take sport of others. At some point, you also need to be sportive to other members. If we are training our children in all these steps, it is for sure that they will be acquiring 21st century skills in them, where they will be open minded, they will have a growth mindset, they will be problem solvers, decision makers, and they will be proactive, which is again, I would say, very important for anyone to be successful in today's scenario. There are, as I have already mentioned, that the factors which go into choosing a career: one's skills, communication, problem solving, teamwork, computing, organizing is again skill, that how you do you organize certain things. Your personality development, how do you present yourself. Presenting oneself is again very important. It's a skill which is required, and that is required especially when you are meeting someone in person, or a career where you have every day you have to go in office. But in today's scenario, most of the time, uh, this internet has just lessened the space, shrunken the globe, and there are people who are connecting with them through internet only, working through internet only. So it depends upon the uh, I would say your job or your career, your interest. If you are interested, what are the things you need to focus? Creative, social, outdoor and active, scientific. So all these interests are very very important. You need to analyze yourself while you're choosing a career, that what is my temperament, what do I like. So whenever you are choosing, whenever you are interested, you must always think that you have to inculcate certain skills within yourself that makes you fit in more than one job. Values and motivation is again very important. Security is important. That is your physical security, your economical security, money, helping others, work life balance. All these things are very, very important. One's personality has to be again, should be as the career he or she is choosing. And once you choose a career, you need to, there are factors which are going to determine that whether you will succeed or not. So your determination, your being conscious about it, what is going on, what are the resources, what people, uh, uh, what who are going to help you, and what diploma, what certificate course, what knowledge and where to acquire is important. What is outgoing, you need to be very very calm whenever, because you cannot acquire a career because you want. Certain amounts of time will be taken to acquire it. So you need to be very very, you need to have patience, and diligently you will have to be keep working over it. Your qualifications, your contacts, they are again very important. Who are your resources? Who are people who are going to help you in achieving that career? That is very important. And even if you don't have a direct contact, can somebody indirectly, if you connect, can help you? You need to definitely brood over this point. What are the qualification? What are the qualification required for that career? And what are, how you are you going to get those qualification? Which is a good school, which is a good college? I mean, good school, good college, I don't believe that the buildings make it, but the quality of knowledge which is being delivered there, which is very important. So which is that, which is university, which school, which college is going to provide you there, which is the location? That is also very important. Maybe somebody says that Howard University is a very university, but if my pocket or my parents' pocket doesn't allow me to go to a Howard University, where would I make my career? So all these things are very important, uh, where you need to think that how I can achieve my goal. So I would thank you very much, all of you, and just to recapitulate whatever I have just mentioned, I would just say that the career is the sum up of your professional journey. Whatever you have thought, whatever you have worked for, Ma'am, you can just put it to the last slide. I'm just summing it up. Many people embark or on a career because it can help them achieve their goals. For example, acquiring knowledge, experience, taking them or on a more responsibility and earning high salaries. That is only the I think what people think that this is only what career is. So they opt those preferred things. But the best suits is the time and the career which will live likely shift throughout your working life. You may end up changing roles or industries as your interests, motivations, your needs, those keep changing. So if they are changing, then obviously we will have to think that as the role is being changed, we have to we have certain continuous learning which will make us and the habit of being a multi-talented, and of course we need to be an expert of one also, that will help us to be in the market, and that can only be helped, that can only be achieved if we examine ourselves. We will when we examine and we see our interest, what enjoy, what will make us happy, what are the indicators which are going to be helpful to us. There are certain questions which are based upon interest. When you are going to choose a career, one needs to ask oneself that what do you in what or what I enjoy learning about, what do I like to spend my time, what do I enjoy, manual labor or a mental labor, do I enjoy working outside or do I like enjoying inside. These are certain interest based questions when one is to decide about a career. Similarly, there are some value based questions which one should always ask is like, what is most important in my life? What is the priority in my life? What do I want to find meaning in my life? What change would I like to be part of? Because there are, when somebody is young, he wants to change the whole world. Even if somebody is not making a change in the world, at least in the city or in the area where one is living or to the community, if one has these value based questions, definitely it would really help someone to find a best career. Trade based opportunities or questions: what does success mean to me? As I said in my session, that success is like, it keeps changing. One at one point of time, success is something else. If I am in grade 6, my success is if I qualify grade 6, I am promoted to grade 7. Maybe in my professional life, when success means that one, I become a teacher, then I become a principal, then I become an RSD, or sometime I become a CEO of a company. So success at different level becomes different for. So what do I want more of? It is again, while you are that trades, that journey has to be specified, or a career once, you should know at every point that what next has to be done. Which of my strengths do I enjoy the most? Which of my skills are which I am proud of? So we need to identify all these traits and we need to question ourselves whenever we are making a choice of a career. We need to reflect on our motivations because different at different stages of our life, again different things motivate us. If we are in a profession or we want to choose a profession, what are those? Like salaries, benefits, what benefit will I have, autonomy, will I be able to work independently or not, what is the work life, what is the balance in work and life, will I be able to, will there be some flexibilities given to me, what would be my career growth? That is again one needs to think of. We need to think of long term goals. It is not only about the short term, but sometimes what happens is when you opt a career, your salary is not as you require. But at the later stage, you find that after work you get a jump. So I would suggest that long term goals are important, but at the same time, you must question yourself that what do I most perfect like look like. We need to make a long term goals, professional as well as personal, because we in our life, we both are important. Your personal life as well as your professional life, both are important. So when both are important, we need to check that what are we need to write, that what are the long time as well as short time goals. We need to understand that how we will reach there, what is a path to reach those goal. For example, like you want to start rise as you want to come to a managerial rank and advance to C-suite of a company, then you will have to think, do you want to own a house, yes or no? Do you want to be able to travel, or if yes, how often do you want to go and travel? So all these things, all these lists need to be jolted down while you are choosing a career, which is very very important. You need to take different self assessment tests. Was not anything earlier, but now whenever you choose a career, you need to be able to self assess yourself, that whether you are good to that career or not, whether do you have the capabilities to take that career or not. Once you have decided, often periodically I would say that you must need, there is a need to self assess your whatever work you have done or whatever achievement you have done for your longer goal, for your career. So there are number of tests you can take to evaluate everything from your personality to your strengths. It's not only about the academic qualification, it's about your personal strengths also. So there are tests which you must take so that you fit into the career whatever you have taken it. So rather than you rely upon your decision, whatever you have made today, and at a later stage you find or people find that you are not fit for it. It is always suggested by me today that you need to keep assessing your, that self assessment has to be taken, and you must always uh, assess why, because this is going to be helpful to you, so that you, in case some knowledge is less, you can acquire knowledge. If you need certain kind of training to have that career, you will take certain training for that. If you need some uh, in in service program is required to achieve a bigger goal, you should always take that. So explore sectors also, which is again another point which I discussed and want to specify while I'm concluding, is that you need to explore the sectors, that whether you want to work as a private, you want to work in a private sector, or you want to work in a public sector. So if it is a private sector, you need to also to think that you will be employed through a privately owned company or a corporation, which typically aims to increase growth and revenue. So benefit, what greater benefit will you get, what greater potential of growth is there. If you are to work in a public, you'll be employed through a local state itself, federal government, which central government, state government, which whatever you aim, that public programs and institutions are being operated by whom, that is to be taken. So greater potential stability should be there. That is again one point while you are choosing your career you need to take. Whether it is a non-profit, so you will be employed through an organization not associated with private or public sector, which is dedicated to addressing or fulfilling a public need, while it does not aim to make revenue the way private business do. So when you are focusing on a career, you need to just check upon this one point also, because earn enough to achieve its mission or cover overhead. So you all need to see greater potential for meaning should be there. Become job ready with different organizations. So You need to try courses, you need to earn certificate, because in today's scenario, you may be in any sector, you may opt any career, but continuous evaluation of yourself, continuous self assessment or yourself, and upgrading yourself as per the demand, which may be paid, or there are certain free courses also. Explore industries where your skills, where that can fit in, and you can get good job, or a good, you can make a good career there. Seek out professional resources, college career centers or career coach centers, who are going to train you, who are going to make you, going to be supportive to you. All these things are required by a student, so that he or she can opt a career. And I hope that while all these points, one important point is the research. Researching a career option is again should be a continuous process. If the children are not in habit of doing that, it will become very difficult for them to find, when, because when they require a job or whatever career they want to opt is, if they are unaware, they have not made any research about the career options, they will never be able to have a good career. So this was all from my side. Thank you very much, all of you, for being there and listening to me, my views on how to choose a career. Thank you very much, and once again, thanking Institute of Global Professionals for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for a rich content presentation which can impact our knowledge seekers surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which is our only intention. Learn and create together, IGP knowledge seeker. Once again, thank you so much, dear ma'am, for your presentation. Now, ma'am, it's time for your question and answer, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinars. Honorable ma'am, please stay with us. After a short video, we'll be back in our part 2 session, which is the question and answer part. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your questions in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question and answer, we have witness attribution and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your questions in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question and answer, we have a witness attribution and online quiz competition. Ma'am, please stay with us. After a short video, we will start our question and answer session. ask you questions in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your questions in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Our first question is come from Ujjal Kagbe Flores, and her question is: do we really need to have experience before we will be accepted by the employer?
Thank you for your question. I just want to mention before I answer this question, do we really need to have experience before we will be accepted by the employer? It again depends, because in today's scenario, the schools are very much aware, the colleges are very much aware that the skill development is to be done. If you have enough of knowledge, you are very confident, you have having good communication, you are presentable, and in that case, if everything it is not necessary that you have an experience, but if you have sufficient of knowledge, your employer will also uh, train you for whatever job he or she is looking for. So in today's scenario, I would say it is not necessary. It depends that you have applied for what uh, sector, and to which company have you applied. So if it is which organization you have applied, sometimes the freshers are always given a chance if you have sufficient of knowledge. That's it.
Um, Thank you, ma'am. Our second question is come from Arungate ACC Salvizo, and her question is: good day, everyone. Hi, ma'am. What factors should an incoming college student consider in choosing a career?
Right. So these number one is that every child should, as I said, that should focus on the capabilities he or she is having. Number two, whatever choices of subject he has made or she has made because of his interest in that subject, and focusing on the long term career he has opted for. Number three, he has to also keep it in mind the time factor, because to achieve that goal, if you are to achieve the short term goals or the larger goal, the time factor is very important. And if he or she is self assessing himself or herself during that time span, I have suggested that self assessment has to be a periodic thing. In case you are not self assessing, you will not be successful. For a child who has come to a college, what factor should an incoming college student consider in choosing a career? So he has already he has taken up the subjects whatever he wants, focusing on the career. Time is very important. He needs to also consider that what are the skills required for that particular career he has opted for, along with the subject. So along with that, taking education, he also need to upskill himself. He should join some in case the thing those skills are not available in the campus itself, he must join some other areas also, or he should be have journal awareness, subject awareness, and where he can find those skills which is required, because in a school or a college, the subjects which are taught are not vocational. Now they have started doing the vocational courses also. So that's, I would thank to all the NEP 2020 what framework they have given, where they are focusing on the skill development as well as the knowledge development also. So whatever the college they are taking is, they'll be able to learn about it. So colleges need to also focus that what in future, what is the demand in the market, what industry requires what. If it is there is a demand of technology, the student should be given ample of knowledge of technology so that the children do not fail at any point of time. So the technical skill is very important, communication skill is very important, to work in a collaboration, in a teamwork is very important. The school or the college itself, both the places, they need to teach children to do certain projects in a team, where they become it becomes a habit of in them, that they be able to work in team, in collaboration with one another, and they be successful. So that may be a short term work, or research work can again be given to the student, so that it will be helpful to them, it becomes helpful to them, so that they achieve their goals. So I think the schools or the colleges can definitely do this to help the children to achieve their career.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for your rich content. Um, Once again, thank you so much, dear ma'am, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topics. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable ma'am, hope to see you again and again with a new topic and new day. Thank you, ma'am. Take care.
Ma'am, I'll take a minute before I end up the session. I just want to say one thing is that in a school, in a college, where we need to make children future ready, we need to make them decision makers, problem solvers, where we are imparting knowledge to them, we need to impart skills to them. Along with that, our goal in any educational sector should be to make good human beings, and to make them good human beings, certain values need to be inculcated within each child. So that's all I just wanted to end up with it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Our website is under maintenance. We will be back soon with our website. We are sorry for that and don't worry, we will take your certificate for our webinars. Sure, soon. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Participation process. Now time for the online quiz competition. To join online quiz competition properly, please follow my instructions carefully. Now time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition, please follow my instructions carefully. For some technical problems, we can't join. We can't continue our quiz from the website. So to join our quiz, you have to go www.slido.com, and today quiz code is 40276997. Now we are start our quiz session. কোয়েশ্চেনগুলো কোথায়? এটা কি শো করতে হবে? এটা এই কুইজের এটা বসাইছি তো না, ফোনটা শো করে তুই একটা ইমেজ শো করে এটা তো করতে হবে। ওই যে আমরা ওয়েবসাইটের মধ্যে স্ক্রিনশট দিতাম না একটা, we are now start our question. Already 11 people joined us. Our first question is question আসতেছে না। কোশ্চেন কিভাবে আনবো এটাতে?
দেখছো কোথায় ক্লিক করছি? লোক কি শেয়ার দিছিল? তোমাকে কি দাও নাই?
দিছি তো অনেক
বুঝে ওটা দাও নাই কেন? ট্রিকে চেঞ্জ করা না কেন? এটা কে দিল? কি ব্যাপার? ফুল স্ক্রিন স্টার্ট হয় না?
You know, set our question. Our first question is how to choose a career. A, choose something you hate. B, choose something you love. The correct answer to Q. From the leaderboard, first person name is. For second question. Second question is how to choose a career. A, discover what you are good at. B, run very fast. Correct answer is A. On the leaderboard, first person name is Urosh Nasir. Next question is how to choose a career. Ask your mother to choose it for you. B, choose a right field of study. Correct answer is B. On the leaderboard, first person name is Kianvi Sahegitekar. Next question is how to choose a career. A, ask your mother to choose it for you. B, choose based on our ambitions and talents. Kianvi Isekar. And italic or an article title how to use a career. Italics bequests. And the leaderboard first person name is Uros Nasir. For many people, the problem of how to choose a career is a ill-defined problem. B, medical problem. Correct answer is B. On the leaderboard, first person name is Jeffrey S. Allen. Next question is the best way to choose a career is to find out how to earn the most money. A, true. B, false. Correct answer is B. On the leaderboard, first person name is Surosh Nasir. Next question is it is not important to choose a career and plan how to reach your career goal. A, true. B, false. Correct answer is B. On the leaderboard, first person name is Flami Regal Salvizio. Next question is what a mistake. Asked me if I was ready to choose a career and not be anyone. Correct answer is A. On the leaderboard, first person name is Flani Regal Salvizio. How do you say to choose a career? A, choice finish is address. B, choice and method. Correct answer is Flami Regal Salvizio. Conclusions to our webinar and quiz competition has stopped. Conclusions again will take a few minutes to find as the result. And after to issue our online quiz competition certificates on our website and official Facebook page. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition has stopped. Conclusions again will take a few minutes to find as the result. And after that we will issue our online quiz competition certificates on our website and official page. Conclusions to our webinar online quiz competition has stopped. Conclusions again will take a few minutes to find as the result. And after to issue our online quiz competition certificates on our website and official page. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition has started. Conclusions again will take a few minutes to find as the result. And after that, we'll issue our online quiz competition certificates on our website and official page. At the end of the session, I can say probably if it is good device of learning because life device of teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. You want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, type to what do people think? Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit the end like button, I again want to thank all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participation and always. See you in the next session. Thank you.